rain and thunder over the north, slight rain over the southern sector. I'm sure part of Accra should be having some rain this morning. We expect it to stop, and then in the afternoon the sun will break through. Then by evening we expect the clouds to come back with light rain or drizzle over places. Temperatures will be a bit mild across the 16 region. We are expecting between 28 and 32 degrees Celsius. The state of the sea will be rough today. We are expecting windy conditions, so fisher folks should be extra careful. For the Volta Lake, those around the Oti region, they're having the rainstorms over that area this morning, so they have to wait until the storm passes, then they can continue their fishing activities. But those around Akosombo and its environs, just light rain or drizzle is expected, so they can do their activities, but with caution, because some parts may not be so clear in terms of visibility.
Interesting. And so for today, even though we see the clouds, it must not be too alarming to us. Is that what you're suggesting?
Yes. It's not too alarming. It's just low clouds that will bring slight rain, but some portions may get moderate. Apart from that, it's not a storm that is coming with strong winds, thunderstorms, and the rest over the southern sector, no.
Felicity, I want to thank you very much indeed for your time this morning. We're grateful.
Thank you too. We are also grateful for always reaching out to us for our forecast.
Thank you very much. And that's Felicity Ahafi, and you're there from the Ghana Meteorological Agency, bringing us all the fine detail here this morning on the Sunrise Morning Show on 3FM 92.7. It's 26 minutes after 6 here on your favorite dial. Thank you for starting your morning with us.
We simplify the conversations, we break down the jargons and technicalities. We keep you well informed throughout the week. Start your day with us.
Knowledge is power. We put you in the know of the happenings in Ghana and the world over. The main reason why you need to start your day with us.
We give the leaders the mandate to govern our affairs. We have a responsibility to hold them to account. It begins here. Start your day with us. Good morning, Ghana, Africa, and the rest of the wonderful world. Welcome to Sunrise on 3FM 92.7.
Start your day well informed. Start with us on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. Catch the all-new Sunrise Morning Show with me, Johnnie Hughes, Helen and William Asiedu,
and Noble Crosbyan.
Weekdays from 5:55 a.m. to 10 a.m. only on 3FM 92.7.
It's no movie. It's no movie.
Can you do it? It's
I see movie. I see Afrima. Aflimata. On the Finder newspaper this morning says Assistant Central Delegates root for Dr. Baumia. That's Kennedy Japan's backyard, but if they're rooting for Dr. Baumia, there's fire on the mountain. Then Anabi donates to Tafo Government Hospital, inspects ongoing construction of a 30-bed children's ward, and Wildlife Resources Management Bill passed into law. Bank of Ghana incurs 60.86 billion Ghana cedis losses in 2022, leading to 55.12 billion negative equity position. Stopgap Solutions widening reach poor divide, according to Dr. Agra. The custodian newspaper says Winneba to host the 2023 ECOWAS Parliament. Alexander Penyoma-King is the MP for Futu, is also Deputy Majority Leader, is captured on the front page. Mid-year budget review to focus on macroeconomic stability. MMDAs empowered to increase the IGF. The Ghanaian Observer says gas sales agreement GNPC Sensor Energy deal in trouble as independent power producers pull out of sweetheart deal. Government releases 300 million to senior high school on TVET schools. EOCO chases Indian businessman. UCC confers doctor on educational leadership on Napo. Helen?
The New Independent newspaper this morning, well, they say they're fair, firm, and balanced. Government gives 300 yet to be determined. Government gives 300 million cedis to educational institutions. WAEC, senior high, TVET schools, buffer stock are beneficiaries. And we have e-transform project, e-transform. Government equipping 305 ICT labs in senior high schools. Bank of Ghana incurs 55.12 billion Ghana cedis loss due to government domestic exchange program. You know, the haircut affected a lot of us and also affected the Bank of Ghana. Mahama criticizes Akufo-Addo over conduct of his appointees, and hunger looms at Countryside Children's Home. There's more of that in the New Independent. The Daily Analyst this morning, Akando involved in ghastly accident, and you have the MP pictured there.
Yesterday, sad.
Yes.
But I'm told he's doing very well.
That's good news.
He's recuperating.
That's good news. We've had too many incidents with the MPs, especially on our roads. The driver, we're told, not so great this morning. We're hoping for better news as the day progresses. Cecilia Dapa, AG's request for docket on simple stealing case suspicious. Simple stealing, in quote there. Gimpa law lecturer speaking. National Development Confab communique. Stakeholders push for integrity campaign to sharpen moral consciousness of Ghanaians. Annual National Moral Vision Development Conference proposed. Mahama blasts Akufo-Addo over conduct of appointees. And CBG customers to embark on demo over appointment of a Kenyan as deputy MD. That's captured there on the front page. Lastly, Dapa's stolen cash. NPP guru fires Institute of Architects for not defending ex-minister's husband. Benjamin Jehu Apia is an NPP communication team member, and he's pictured here. He says the Institute of Architects should be backing Miss Dapa's husband.
William,
on the front page of the Business and Financial Times this morning, Ghana Stock Exchange sees modest growth amid better than expected bank results. Half-year petroleum receipts down by some 26.1%, and tax burden has reached unsustainable levels. That's according to the AGI, Ghana Association of Ghana Industries.
Sami, what do you have?
All right, so the front page of the Inquisitor has Nananchi didn't have $1 million. Bantman lady tackles yellow CC. And this is Cecilia Abena, the first picture. And then the late Nana Akwesi Esang, the second.
Right.
And then there's a picture of that lady, the Bantman lady. UCC confers Doctor of Educational Leadership on Dr. Prempe. And then Obin Fosu shows respect to elders. Okay. These are the few stories.
Okay, let's begin. Where do we begin from, Helen? I'd leave that choice to you.
All right. Well, let's talk about education. The New Independent.
Talk about Dr. Baumia in the backyard of Kennedy, Japan, as in Central.
Actually, that's not a bad point to start off with.
They have falling for Kennedy, Japan, Dr. Baumia, and that's the backyard of Kennedy, Japan. You don't know how he always goes about talking about the fact that he supported a lot of people in his constituency, businesses, employment, yada, yada, yada. How did they fall for Dr. Baumia? So they find that newspaper.
Let's get into it. And actually, on that note, you recall last week, the New Patriotic Party had a communique that was released on how prospective flag bearers should conduct themselves as they embark on their, campaign tours and all of that. And I was speaking with William, and I said, I don't know whether his favorite candidates will go all the way, because he's still very passionate about what is going on. And he had a private spaces on Twitter last week I shared with the team, and I tuned in, and he had a lot of things to say. His heart is very heavy. So in terms of staying put and staying within the remit of what that communique says, William, good morning to you again. Your favorite candidate is going through it, Kakra. But Asin Central delegates root for Dr. Bawumia, captured in page 8 of the Finder newspaper. Let's get straight into the details. Delegates in the Asin Central constituency in the Central region defied the dictatorial orders of the constituency chairman at a meeting with Vice President Dr. Bawumia. The delegates, who were ordered not to accept and wear the T-shirts of Dr. Bawumia, resisted the orders to them not to wear the T-shirts in their meeting with him. Atakra Ameniampong, Ameniampong. How many M's are there? AMANIMMM.
It is Ameniampong.
The Finder newspaper, please page it. Ameniampong. The constituency chairman.
Helen Brefier.
My Brefier, prophylactic.
Thank you.
For Asin Central. According to the polling station executives, the electoral area coordinators insisted that none of them should accept or wear the T-shirts. We're told they defied these orders. I'm quoting here. We were told never to accept any T-shirts from the Bawumia campaign team for obvious reasons, but we have decided not to abide by this order, a polling station chairman stated. Another delegate spoke about the order and why they decided to defy it. This is democracy. We are one party and family. Why should we mistreat Dr. Bawumia because an aspirant comes from here? If Dr. Bawumia wins, how can we go out there to campaign for him to be president if we maltreat him today? And that's what they had to say about that.
Interesting view.
Well, I agree with them.
You agree with them?
I agree with them because they don't have to openly reject Dr. Bawumia. But the point also is that on that day, T-shirts will not be used as ballot papers.
That's right.
So if you take somebody's T-shirts, it doesn't mean anything because the delegates know who they are going to vote. But I disagree with the fact that they will openly reject a candidate who is coming to the constituency to campaign. I mean, they should take the T-shirts. But I'm still saying that day they're not going to use T-shirts as
they're going to use their thumbprints.
Exactly. And whoever they vote for, we cannot determine because as has been said in the past and still being said, fear delegates.
Well, I find it quite interesting because this is Kennedy Japan's backyard. He's on record to have said he's helped people. I mean, if you go to the constituency itself, the reason people keep voting for him is that, why am I? Your school fees, in Juma, Sisi Adan, to meet them, those things. Now, if at his backyard, and that's what he wants to use Asin Central as the model to spread around the country. That I have this here, I have that here, I have this here, I have that here. And the people at Asin North are beginning to not openly reject him, but they are telling you that, look, they cannot reject Dr. Bawumia because of you. And that the main reason is that if whoever wins, they should be able to campaign for the person. Where's the home support?
Yeah, Johnny, it's not just about home support.
But what is it?
This is about a political party. Okay.
But if your house is rejecting you,
no.
Can you imagine that the people of Wale Wale, the people of Wale Wale,
the people have not said they have rejected Kennedy Japan. Neither are they saying that they have accepted Dr.
But the
Bawumia.
headlines say they are falling for him.
Down flat.
What we can put our headlines anyway.
Yes,
paper is for sale.
I agree with you.
So
So you said this was
Masa.
He said it's not down
We've
flat.
covered stories where political parties have organized individuals to come and parade with T-shirts and flags, but at the end of the day, they lost there.
Yeah, but one thing stands, in politics, there's what we call interest. There will always be interest, but the interest should be said that it will not affect future relationship. What if, as they said, Dr. Bawumia wins? Are you going to campaign for him? Are you going to lobby for projects to be embarked on in your constituency? So you should always remember that though they are competing against each other, they are not enemies.
Okay, the Bank of Ghana loses 55.12 billion In the annual report and financial statement for 2022 following restructure of government debt, the Bank of Ghana incurred a loss of 55.12 billion in the 2022 financial year as a result of the restructure of the central bank's holding of government's debt. This was done under terms similar to those of the domestic debt exchange program. The governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, stated in the foreword to the 2022 annual report and financial statements of the Bank of Ghana posted on the bank's website. He explains that the Bank of Ghana recorded a loss because the non-marketable holdings of Government of Ghana instruments, including long-term stocks, a COVID-19 bond, and overdraft, were subjected to a 50% haircut reduction. Wow, Baba in town. Dr. Addison also said the Bank of Ghana's claims holdings of marketable instruments were exchanged under similar terms as other financial institutions under the DDP and led to an impairment of 48.40 billion Ghana cedis in 2022. Explains that at the same time the bank incurred revaluation losses on its foreign assets and liabilities due to exchange rate depreciation, and the impairment and revaluation loss led to a negative equity position of 55.12 billion for 2022. This is the Bank of Ghana, and questions are being asked how the Bank of Ghana is beginning to lose money. The owner of the cash, the holders of cash,
the man
are losing cash.
The man is when he came to
sorry,
small code. So
sorry,
this banking crisis and the cleanup. That's where I started seeing issues with this man. How much did we lose and how much did we intend to save?
Yeah.
We
started with 9 billion that we're going to use that, and then by the time we finish, we have spent over 20 billion.
The macroeconomic environment, what is happening there? What is the Bank of Ghana doing to stabilize the city? Nothing. I don't see anything happening in that space.
So, well, they arrested 79 Abuchi and Tudu.
Masa.
Abuchi. Now we can't say be Abuchi where you get the dollar.
But the dollar day where the dollar day.
Thank you.
See, because if interest rates are just going up, all he's doing is just increasing the base rate in an attempt to arrest inflation. But the inflation too is going higher and higher every day. Yeah. Interest rates he's just stifling private businesses. Nothing he has done has touched private enterprise, and we all know that is the private enterprise or private sector is the engine of growth. Ghana's economy is not growing because the private sector is stifled. If you look at how much government is borrowing from the system, the government is literally crashing out the private sector. They are not able to borrow. They are using all these their bonds and treasury bills and to mop up all the funds in the system to the public sector. And the public sector too is not doing so well in terms of its expenditure.
Absolutely.
And the private sector is suffering. You go to the market, the dollar is the rate is going high. Your bank rate is going high. So what has he done? You should show us this. Like you say, where is the scorecard?
Like you say, you see, the Bank of Ghana sets the rate, but Abuchi has the dollar. And beyond Abuchi, now we know that the dollar is under people's beds.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the most embarrassing thing. In any serious country, Dr. Ernest Addison will not have his job in any serious country. But since we have accepted that we're not a serious country, he can have his job and still hold press conferences and still tell us how much we have lost. You lose 55.12 billion. If you convert that to dollars, how much are we borrowing from the IMF again?
So are we going to say Addison too must go?
I don't think it's a new call.
But the point is that if you say it, the Nanado that we have come to know with the benefit of power is not the man that he was in opposition. He won't let anybody go. He won't. Look, Mr. Foriata will appear before Parliament today to do what? Present a mid-year budget review, post the IMF deal, right? What are we talking about?
I was hoping not to see COVID-19 in this story. I didn't have to go far.
Russia, Ukraine.
I didn't have to go far.
Say it after me.
COVID, Russia, Ukraine.
COVID, Russia, Ukraine.
Yes. And in some quarters, they'll say even teachers. Teachers are part of
the problem.
And now pass dollars.
I was hoping not to see COVID-19, but the central bank explained that COVID-19 was also to blame for some of these losses. COVID we're over 3 years ago now. It's still in the papers as being a prominent reason for a lot of our woes. Why?
You know, the governor of the Bank of Ghana, you know, the CBG staff are agitating.
That's right.
I know people who used to work at CBG who have quit. And when we decided that we were going to put the bank together, all the arguments that were made, and I'm waiting for the proponents of those things. Dr. Baumia would use, we saved your deposits, blah, blah, blah. He would use that.
Yeah.
The questions that will come from those things that he will possibly be saying, I'm sure he will be shocked. Because you talk about saving deposited funds.
Yeah.
Now, the funds take forever to come. Some people have still not been paid in full. When the funds come, they give them the haircut.
Yeah.
So what have you done, really? And then you collapse the banks, people lose their jobs. People still don't have jobs. Some have died as a result. Some have had conditions. Some have gotten stroke and all of that. We need to be very, very serious. That's why I'm saying that in any serious place, the governor of the Bank of Ghana will not have his job. Because part of this loss, there's also the banking supervision losses. Now, look at what is happening at our local banks. The local banks. This is 2022. The local banks. Go back, go there and go and check.
So the Bank of Ghana, beyond directing the banking system, is also supposed to direct the credit system. And that's where my point is this morning.
Yeah.
The credit system is so bad. You can't take, any decision in respect of your business because you don't know what the Bank of Ghana is going to say in terms of base rate tomorrow.
Yeah.
They were, last time it was 29.5 or 29.
Now it went to 30.
And now it's 30. And if you are charging 30%, how much do you want the banks to charge?
If we simplify it, I come and borrow 100 cedis from you, and I have to pay you 30%, 30 cedis of that. Now, how much am I going to invest in my business?
Exactly.
And how long will it take for me to even make a profit of 30%? That's what is 30 cedis of the 100 cedis.
The last time I
borrowed
spoke to a banker, he said, William, don't go and do street calculation. You come and I'll explain to you how the calculation is done.
Yes.
So the calculation we are doing even with the 30%, we shouldn't do that calculation.
that there's more.
The banker is telling me that I shouldn't do street mathematics. I should come to the bank for them to explain to me.
Oh, I see.
How? Yes, because if you use this 30% or whatever the bank they are telling you as the interest rate, then use it to calculate it on your calculator.
Yeah.
You will end up paying more than you expect. So you go to the bank, if they are giving you 29%, they will inject a lot of other fees into the whole thing. So the 30% and so on that we are talking about is not what you get from the banks. So if the base rate from the central bank is 30%, you should be expecting to be paying like 37, 39%. And that's what is happening. So if you don't know, go and use even 31%. And they add what the base rate is, they also add their own rate. Yeah. So if it's 30%, the bank would choose to add 7%.
Goodness me.
And that's how the interest rate is bad. Yeah. Even for private individuals. Now the businesses, how much are they going to get?
Now, and the fact is,
you see,
you end up paying even more than the 37% of whatever you know is on paper.
Yes.
The rate at which in fact, even contractors who have gone for loans from the banks,
that's right,
are not being paid though. So they are accumulating,
the
more,
interest.
More
and as we
interest
progress, the city is also depreciating. So you can't even catch up. But we're told that the Bank of Ghana printed over 44 billion cedis for the government of Ghana. That pushed the inflation to 52%. According to the IMF, the Bank of Ghana is saying that they did that to stop the economy from collapsing. There's